plugged in, and right off the bat, I'm a little concerned because the C920 is supposed to be a 72 degree field of view, and 1 and 3 were the most zoomed in. Two here has like a crazy zoom in, which, I mean, if this is 72 degrees, Cheapo Cam 2, it has to be, it's gotta be like 60 degrees. Can I check? I need to make sure these all actually said 90 degrees. Hold on. Okay, here's my Amazon order. You can see here's, this is Cheapo Cam 1, which was $27, Cheapo Cam 2, $28, Cheapo Cam 3, $42. All 1080p, 90 degree wide viewing angle, 90 degree wide viewing angle, 90 degree extended view. I don't think any of these are 90 degrees. Okay, I gotta get rid of the we're gonna get rid of the C920. Why don't we just get rid of that one that's like 60 degrees? We gotta unplug one so we can plug in the Brio. I wanna compare them to 90 degrees right away. This 90 degree field of view thing is already really bumming me out. Logitech Brio, let's make it 1080p. Okay, all right. This, first of all, 60 FPS there. Brio, 90 degrees. Definitely not 90 degrees. Oh my gosh, I got ripped off. Brio, 90 degrees. Okay, we've got a deficit here on the Chinese webcams. None of them are 90 degrees. So let's move on from the 90 degrees because that's just a kick in the pants. Let's move on to image quality. Let's see if we can get any of them looking just as good or better. Can we just get rid of this one? This is trash. No one wants a 60 degree web. We're getting rid of cheapo number 2 so we can plug back into C920. You are such a disappointment. Which one was this? How much did this one cost? This is the $28 one. I'm leaving a bad review. I'm leaving a review on all of them. Let's plug back into C920. Serious betrayal. Okay, we're down to 4 cameras. We've got cheapo number 1, cheapo number 3, and then C920, which is frozen. There we go. C920 and Brio. Okay, this is the C920, 72 degrees. If you look at the background, this is 72 degrees. You can see the edge of the wall here and the guitars here. When we jump to this camera, you can see we get more of the wall and more of the guitars. So we are getting, it's interesting, it looks like they soften up the C920 so you don't notice the noise as much. Look how sharp, how they've sharpened the image here, which causes a lot of noise. But it's definitely wider than 72. It's not a full 90. Like, this is the Brio, full 90. Maybe this is 75 degrees, a little bit wider. That's pretty wide. Let's put the Brio and this one next to each other. Maybe this one is actually 90 degrees. Hold on. Brio and cheapo number 1 are gonna be right next to each other. It looks, like if you look at the edges of again, look at the edges. It looks like it might be wide enough, but it looks like they've distorted where the wide angle is. As you get into the middle, you can see like on the Brio here, I'm further away. And on the cheapo cam, I'm closer, but we still get as wide of a view. It's almost like as you get to the center of the lens, it's not as wide. And then as you get closer to the edges, they start to expand that field of view there rather than evenly distributed across the whole thing, which is really interesting. So I think number 1 might actually be 90 degrees, just a very bad lens on it. Okay, let's move it back to where it was. Sam, are you capable of following along which cameras are which? And like labeling them, or is that gonna kill you? I wanna see if we can adjust some of these colors here and if we can improve the image quality, again, just to make it worth it. Because if we can make either of these cameras look better than the C920, it still makes sense to be an early purchase. Let's start with this one, cheapo number 1. This is the cheapest camera. This is the $27 one that we picked up. So we're gonna go to the properties, go to configure video. Here we've got our pretty standard controls over here. Camera control. I'm surprised it doesn't let you lower it. It still looks like it's a tiny bit washed out on my face. Let's go to the white balance. White balance is auto. Let's turn off auto because auto white balance on this thing is bad. Let's bring up the warmth. That's not looking bad at all. What we're aiming for is making this thing look better than the C920. If we can, let's toss up that contrast a little bit. Too much. Let's lower the brightness a tiny bit. That's not awful. It's still not great, but it's a $26 webcam. What happens when we crank the sharpness? Yes, so you notice you crank the sharpness and that noise just starts to stand out in the background. That's turning up the saturation a teeny tiny bit. A little too much, bring it down. Okay, let's compare it, C920, CheapoCam number 1. It's definitely got a little bit too much green in it. Hue, see if we can pull some of that green out. Okay, this is where we were at. Bring it that way a tiny bit. Hey, that's pretty dang good. C920 still a little bit sharper, a teeny tiny bit sharper. You can see details on my face a little bit more. Look how smooth my forehead is, which, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. You get a little more wrinklage on my dome here. I'm gonna call that one a success. That's cheapo number 1. Skip to cheapo number 3 here, which is just insanely sharp. Let's see what we can do with this color in here. And it's also really, really red. Now this one's a little bit wider. This one is clearly, by the way, these two definitely have, so this is claimed to be 90-degree field of view. It's definitely 72. This one looks like it might be 75, 76-ish. Okay, let's get to those colors. Turn down the sharpness. Yeah,